first of all, to recognize that a rights-based approach to the issue is not generally accepted. None of the governments in the UN has accepted it formally. And this is probably the starting point for all of us. We need to make sure that a human rights approach, a rights approach, is incorporated into the discussion. Exception. All governments have accepted that human rights are indivisible, that they are mutually reinforcing each other, and they cannot be taken in isolation. And I'm referring to civil, political, economic, social, cultural rights taken. You can generally call for the commitment of governments to deal with all human rights in this holistic framework as part of the obligations that the governments need, including in regard to migrant workers and their families. This is a fundamental point. A government that promotes migration is a government that is recognizing its own failure to produce the necessary job and the necessary conditions within its own borders. Talking about remittances, I think the first thing I can say, coming from a country which has benefited from remittances in a quite important amount of dollars, is that it will be an extremely serious mistake for a government to rely on remittances for its own development, for its own programs. Not only because they can vary in the amount, and especially now with the financial crisis, we are going to see a reduction on the volume of remittances, but mainly because we need to understand that we are talking about private funds that should not be controlled by any government. It's worth to mention is the fact that the follow-up of the forum does not provide until now any hope that we will be able to deal with the issue differently in the next meeting in Greece, probably not even in a Mexican delegation in New York has presented a resolution. William mentioned that is also available if you want to have a copy, of which we insisted on the necessity of the UN to be part of the whole process of discussion, decision-making, and follow-up of the process. It's a very modest resolution, and even it is very modest, it was voted against by at least two of the major players, the United States and Canada, and it was a resolution on which a lot of countries abstained, and we regretted very much that high number of abstentions, not because it included the European Union. We could have expected the European Union to abstain, but we did not expect friendly countries who share principles with us to abstain, such as the Philippines.